In this video, I'm going to show you all of the Sidemen setups, and we're going to be ranking them from best to worst. And this is my tier list. Starting from the top, we've got cable managed by the gods, followed by top tier content produced here. Solid build, good vibes, functional, but room for improvement. Doesn't even have a standing desk. And I'm sorry to do this to you, Josh, but you've got a category of your own because I haven't even been at your house yet. Now, all of them have...
Not the Zerka disrespect. I can respect it though, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Zerka, let's be honest, bro. You need some of that kind of help, you know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. Let them come spruce it up, man.
Pretty great setups with a lot of horsepower behind them. There's no losers here, but somebody has to come last.
This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Whether you need a domain, website, or an online store, make it happen with Squarespace.
So then they're a
Everybody's
loser.
gonna have an opinion on which setup they think is the best, which is fine. And I feel uniquely qualified to comment and critique these setups because I put them together myself. And as I do more of them, I'm learning new things. I'm also getting more feedback from you guys and understanding better on how to approach certain obstacles. So it's going to be interesting for me to look back on some of these setups and see how far I've come and what I'd do differently if I was going to design the setups knowing what I know now. Right, let's begin with the first setup that got me into all of this, which is Toby's. And he used to live with his brother
Big
Manny.
Daddy
Manny
Jizzle.
moved out, so all of a sudden, Toby had a spare room and he wanted to separate his sleeping space and workspace. So this is Toby's setup before I did anything to it. And these monitors are crazy. He got ultra wide ones. You just feel like you're in a spaceship. So Toby gets extra immersion points. So he's got great visuals, great audio. Then he's got 2 key lights and he had a bunch of stuff on his desk. He's got a sound mixer, an audio interface, obviously keyboard. He's got a stream deck and we transformed it to this. Looking back at it now, he definitely needs a bigger desk. Because look at how much those monitors are hanging off on the sides. I'd also opt in for some sort of monitor arm, just so the stands aren't taking up even more desk space. Also upgraded his camera. So his camera is...
It really is like a spaceship in that thing though, bro. What the hell? Oh my God, I kind of need it. I love the ultra wides, bro, but I could do it. I could do it. It could be dope. I don't know. My net game isn't really that crazy. Oh, Izzy could do it. Izzy's net game is crazy, chat. Okay.
The stands aren't taking up even more desk space. Also upgraded his camera, so his camera is very, very crisp. His lighting stayed the same. Cable management is not too bad. It could be better. You see some cables coming from the speakers and to the computers. I feel like I managed to rescue this setup by giving Toby some good room vibes. Now I bought these standing lamps and they're in the corner of these rooms. Ooh. And they give the room a really, really nice
I like how the lights
also
bounce.
During this build, Toby wanted a secondary camera, which we mounted right there in the corner. However, I think Toby experienced some problems with having a GoPro as a secondary camera. If I was to introduce a second camera to anybody's setups these days, it would not be a GoPro. They just don't hold up very well as a B cam. I would go for something like possibly a Sony ZV-1. So with this being my first build, looking back at it, there are things I could improve.
I need plants in my setup.
Also seeing his face light up when he saw his room, you know, kind of inspires me to want to continue making builds and transforming spaces for other people. So I think that passion,
that could be tight, man. That could be tight.
Ignited.
That could be tight.
Where does Toby's setup rank on our tier list? Now, Toby does produce top tier content. However, there are enough things that are making me feel like I want to improve this setup with to sort of fit it into the solid build, good vibes category. Not if, but when.
Nah, I
Toby
respect
eventually
that.
has
I respect that because even I wasn't fucking with.
I
respect that because even I wasn't messing with the way that the monitors were sitting on the desk. I definitely would do that. And I feel like I've been seeing all these like people make these like cool under desk compartments for like one of them is like a perfect little set for like a stream deck or whatever, so it'll like perfectly be like propped up right here, so you could be like on your keyboard and then just be like ping, you know what I mean? Boom, like it's so perfect. And then like all those other audio mixers and stuff, it needs a better setup because it's just like right there. Like I feel like I don't want to go like this, you know what I'm saying? I would rather go like, imagine if it was like right here on like a setup thing. I mean like on like a stand, and you could just like turn the knobs and like slide whatever you wanted and like, you know what I mean? I don't know, something cooler.
Hopefully he can have me back and I'll show him what I can do.
Like a cockpit.
Now, and next up we've got Simon's setup. Now this one was definitely more of a challenge because Simon has a dual PC setup. So there was a lot more technical things that I didn't know about how to connect these PCs together. But thank goodness I had Viz. Another challenging thing was his room was completely empty. So I had to build a lot of the stuff. There was like a couple of shelves I had to make. And this setup took me 2 to 3 days, whereas someone like Toby's took me 1 solid day. He has 2 cameras. He had like a TV, which he hasn't used. And I think the whole reason reason for that is because I don't think his idea of having a TV to the side with a beanbag on the floor felt like a very comfortable way to stream. In the future, I think that beanbag could be upgraded to something like a sofa. And my whole method behind cable management on this desk was to actually build it and then wire every single device and cable tie it to the frame of the desk and then flip it over. However, I feel like I was let down by the cable management last minute when it came to hooking up two of his PCs together. He also had a very amateur sound system for somebody who uses his setup all the time, and we had to place the subwoofer in such an awkward spot. It was like in the middle, and there was like loads of little wires everywhere. After putting in such a hard graft in his desk and trying to cable manage everything, I feel like, yeah, I let myself down with cable management there towards the end. Monitor-wise, I think he's rocking 24-inch monitors.
I think they need to be bigger.
In his future setup, we could upgrade him. But you know what? The guy makes a lot of content there. So for me, it's out of these three. Top tier content produced here, solid build, good vibes, and functional, room for improvement. With the shelves being lit up and a whole TV set up right next to him, I think it's more than functional. I'm gonna give Sidemen the top tier content is produced here. Also, the fact that he's got a dual PC setup as well brings him to the top tier level as well. And I'm really proud of this one. We took a complete empty room, we transformed it into that in the space of 3 days. All right, moving on to the one and only W2S.
That was fire.
He gave me this wooden desk.
That was fire.
And you know what? I liked it.
I was like, why is he putting the blue thing down? What is happening?
So there could be potential for splinters later down the line there. Fun fact, this is my most viewed setup coming in at 2.4 million views. You know what? I don't even know if Harry uses this setup. I've actually not seen it anywhere in videos, unless I'm being wrong. I also feel like he had a lot of issues with his PC. On my side of things, I'm very proud of the final setup. It looks very clean and it's functional. I feel like Harry gets the least benefit from his setup than everybody else. But you know what? Sometimes you just gotta let people like Harry do the Harry things they need to do to get by. He's very particular when it came down to his camera. He wouldn't let me change his camera to something else. Oh, he's used his setup here. So for his background, he's got his Supreme board, he's got a darts board, a snowboard.
It's still swaggy.
His backdrop. You know what? I take back what I said. The camera quality isn't that bad.
And all the moving he be doing and like the reacts and stuff, and it still sits still and looks really good.
Harry's videos in W2S Plus, and I've seen that the third monitor he's mounted in a vertical position. That's interesting. But I'm glad that the setup that was built for him, he's being able to customize it beyond what I've left it at. You know what? It seems like he's getting on perfectly fine with it. I know we had software issues with the Razer audio mixer. It was like a new thing that got released by Razer. I decided to try it. Big mistake. It had too many buggy problems with it, but we managed to replace it after a couple of days to the Go XLR, and then I had no complaints since then.
I was wondering if that was a thing too, because a lot of people were telling me to get that Razer thing, bro, because I've been trying to figure out like how to get the setup to like the perfect way that I want it before I like really invest in a lot of stuff. And man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. $350? It's an investment, bro, but fuck, it's an investment. I think it's actually like $490 or something, but I gotta do it. I gotta do it, bro, because I like even now, like if I'm like gaming on like a console or something, and I want to like I have to like use two headsets, so I have to like have these headphones in and then put my regular headset on top of it. But I would much rather have like an actual mixer. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lot.
Overall, yeah, you know what? Harry's setup goes into functional, but room for improvement. But I think maybe the lighting with his background could change up a little bit. Again, it's something I didn't get an opportunity to do with Harry because he wanted to customize that himself. So for that, Harry, you get functional, but room for improvement. Next up, Ethan. Again, another 2-day build on this. I usually like doing 2-day builds because it allows me to have some buffer time in the middle to maybe order some extra cables or like little bits and bobs that I think I can improve on the day. I wrote a little list of the things I liked about Ethan's build, and on the top of the list it says sausage dog. And aside from all the Cat 6 cables, I feel like we've done a really clean cable management job on this one. However, there are some things that let Ethan down. One of them being the fact he was never subscribed to my channel. He is now, so that's fine. Also, found a fun little statistic, not very fun for me. It says that 74% of you that are watching my videos are not subscribed. How about we change that? Come on, click that subscribe button. You'll be making my day, and it's free. Hey, let's just say this. Every time there's a new subscriber, a cable gets managed somehow. somewhere. I don't think he wanted that full man cave vibe. He just wanted a nice clean office. So he got some custom artwork done by Jamie Brindley, which acted as his background, and I like that. It was personalized, it was to his taste. He's got some West Ham stuff, so I've got some other cartoon stuff. Now in this setup, Ethan had my favorite work desk top, that's for sure. It's like a oak with an epoxy resin, and it looks very classy. One of the major upgrades that I offered to his setup, apart from good cable management, was the new camera. Now Ethan's rocking the A7S II with the 16 to 35mm G Master lens, and as you can see, he's got a lot of nice natural daylight coming into the room, which is enhancing his video quality as well. And then when it gets dark, he's got the Keylight Airs. Now I decided to go with the Keylight Airs for this build because the normal Elgato key lights are like twice the size, and for a room of that size, I think they'll just look a bit overpowering. So if I was to do anything, I'd probably free up more of his desk space by clamping them onto the desk. But the reason I didn't want to do that is because the table is made from like this epoxy resin. Any sort of clamps that you have on your desk leave a mark, and I just didn't want to do that to his nice, lovely desk.
I always wondered, like, how come people don't get like the big like production light thing like up at the top or something, rather than having like both of the key lights and like doing it like that, instead of just lighting the room. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like a lot of people, like, they get, like, cause I hate these lights, bro. I hate it so much. I wish that like the whole room was just evenly lit and then everything would just work. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I would enjoy. Cause I hate that, like, it's bright as fuck right here, but it's like dark in the rest of the room. Obviously you can't tell cause I'm on green screen, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Another thing I'd do for his setup is tidy up the Cat 6 cables, as they looked a little bit untidy, crammed into that cable management box. And after reading your comments, apparently it's very easy to cut the Cat 6 cables, or should I say crimp them. So maybe perhaps next time I'm around there, I can sort that out for him. Overall, I had a really fun time building this, especially with Rolo around buying all my cables and stealing my microphone. And also hospitality points. Faith made us some banana bread. That was very lovely. So extra points there. However, Ethan, you don't have a standing desk.
She knows how to make
like
banana
was
bread?
made for you. You're straight up going into doesn't even have a standing desk category. Disgraceful, lad. You could be even at the top tier content produced here category, just by upgrading yourself to a standing desk. As a videographer, I often get asked by clients if they can see my work. So having a website where everything is on show and is optimized for multiple devices has helped me secure some jobs in the past. So if you're a business or you're planning to start something up, maybe just even a personal portfolio, then why not give yourself a social presence by creating a website on Squarespace? Squarespace is a service for website building and hosting. You can create websites using their pre-built templates and drag and drop elements to create web pages. And they offer a variety of different plans, and you can always upgrade to a more advanced package once you need the extra features, such as a fully integrated e-commerce shop if you're planning on either selling digital products or physical goods. Small businesses needing a simple information site will love Squarespace. It provides low-cost, time-efficient way to create a stylish brochure site to showcase services. And its video backgrounds feature is great. This feature lets you use YouTube or Vimeo URL to create a looped video background for your Squarespace site. And because Squarespace has sponsored today's video, I'm able to offer a 14-day free trial. And when you're ready to launch your website, use my code Constantine to get 10% off your first purchase. The link is in the description, so give that a click and check it out for yourself. Next up,
got the
KSI setup. We took this man out of the Stone Ages and we brought him to the 21st century. And early into the build, we ran into some planning permissions, which was technically nobody's fault. It's just a process you had to go through. And that process itself took about 3 to 4 months. It was a very frustrating time because myself, JJ, Daniel Asheville, who worked on the build of his room, we felt like we were in limbo. We couldn't do anything. And once everything was approved, we could get started with the build. There is a whole video from Daniel Asheville that shows you the breakdown of everything that was made bespoke for his room. It's a very interesting video, you should check it out. It really showcases the excellent workmanship of all the craftsmen that were involved in the project of his room. And that
this is like dream setup type shit right here.
That, I spent 2 days
this gotta
in his
be.
bedroom
This is so crazy.
the setup. And with the help of Viz, John, Jack, we all managed to do it together, and we finished it all in the space of 2 days. And after I finished the build, I had the footage, I had somebody help me edit it, and I just felt like this pressure on making like the best video ever, to the point where it stopped me from progressing in the edit. I had like almost like a writer's block. Every single comment on any video that I worked on was all about the setup, which became an annoying and frustrating process for me, to the point where I just kept putting it on the back burner, and all of a sudden it wasn't like something I was really passionate about doing, just because of how much pressure it had around it. I just distracted myself with other stuff. So for the longest of times, that edit was just sitting there on my PC waiting to be finished up. But anyway, that's just life of a YouTube creator. There's a lot of projects I have going on at the same time. Yeah, that one took a back seat for a little while. More could have been done with the leather wall panels that are in front of him. They're a good sound absorber, but I think we could have added some sort of light feature there to make it stand out a bit more. Perhaps the black, or maybe like a curtain could have been
like a graphic or something.
Not too dark around the corners of his room, because sometimes when you zoom out a lot, it makes you feel like you're watching a 4:3 type of video. But again, that stuff can be enhanced by, you know, adding a light in the corner of the dark space or putting a plant in the background. The cable management on KSI's build is probably one of the cleanest ones I've ever done. You don't see anything on his floor, and that's because we got to customize the level the plug sockets got installed to. So yeah, with other builds, I kind of had to work with what was there. When it came to his desk, I found a company that provides super big standing desks. They're like conference style desks. The width of it was 2.5 meters, and the depth of it was 1.2 meters. And that allowed me to fit 3 monitors comfortably, with having enough space on the sides for other accessories such as his PC and his games consoles. Because everything was on the same level, again, it was easier to cable manage and route everything to his desk. Now, when it all moves up and down, it's all moving as one big unit. I was limited to what kind of desk I could get if I wanted that size, and unfortunately, the leg options only came in white and silver. Another option that I could offer to JJ if he wanted to completely change the color of the legs of the desk is to spray paint it. I initially did try to wrap it. Because the desk legs go into each other, the wrap kept getting caught and ripped. So if JJ was really adamant on changing the color of the legs, I could spray paint them, but I think he's chill with how they are right now. So when it comes to rating the setup, I am gonna put JJ's into cable managed by the gods. This isn't me calling myself a god, by the way.
I can respect it.
It's god tier cable management right there. There's also other factors that set JJ's room apart from everybody else's builds. His whole room, he went custom. A lot of bespoke elements there. We've got the Rolls Royce ceiling, the Lamborghini wallpaper, the leather
That's the ceiling I got,
at the front and back of his room, the neon legacy sign, even his shelf in the background, that was all custom built as well. His keyboard was custom built, and it has a diamond encrusted keycap. That little key on the keyboard itself is like a $1,000 build, right? But that little key with the diamonds on it and the XIX engraving, that's like at least $1,000 as well. So yeah, I too myself dislike about how long it took, but it is what it is. And KSI possibly had the most animated and enthusiastic reaction to his setup out of everyone, and that itself was worth the wait. I mean, if you contrast him with the old videos to this one, you just see a complete change of energy, and I love that this setup has brought that out of him. It's the 1, 2, 3. Man, I cut down your Christmas tree. Arguably the best space to work in. Also, I'm pretty sure that Vic has the biggest room or like office out of everybody else in the Sidemen. So yeah, Vic's room in general has just got a big advantage over everybody else just because of the size and shape of the room. There's a couple of common things that Vic does also share with JJ. His setup also took a year to make, but that's because he was working on the whole room throughout his whole year in the background, the sides doing like Sidemen videos.
God, that looks
and with the
epic.
ceiling, he shares the same design as JJ with the stars in the sky. And I would have been disappointed if he didn't have the starlit ceiling just because it's Vic Star, you know? He deserves to have that kind of ceiling. So I didn't have any creative input on the whole space itself. That was all Vic, but I did set up his desk, and that took about 2 days as well. Now, Vic only had pretty basic requests and requirements, so there wasn't a lot of room to get creative with his setup. So I aimed to go for the most minimalistic style as possible, as well as meeting the theme of his room. So I got him a custom keyboard. As far as the ratings go, like, his room is very, very sick. However, the fact that I couldn't finish his monitors on the day, and the fact that it's not the most techiest of setups, makes me feel like it belongs in the solid build, good vibes category.
Yeah.
Now, with his cable management,
I respect
I asked
that.
if Vic could make a little hole through the wall that connects his room to the storage room. And by doing that, that was like the most ultimate cheat code to cable management, because all the messy cables could just go through into that next room and they could be braided all into one sleeve. So it's very close to being in the category of cable managed by gods. However, the fact that I didn't get a chance to set up the third monitor and give him all the bells and whistles like an audio mixer and all the other high-tech gear, it's gonna have to go down to solid
I'm so scared to cable manage, bro, because I feel like stuff messes up in my life so consistently that as soon as I get the cables all perfect and sexy and clear, boom, like a webcam is gonna break, or like HDMI cable is gonna go out. And then I have to like go through and dig it out of that little tubing and move it all around, and I don't know.
Solid build, but good vibes. It could go into the top tier content produced here, but Vic doesn't do much content, not as much as Simon. The room is so nice. So yeah, solid build,
the
good
cat
vibes.
is a menace. You were right
There you
about
go.
that.
I also love the fact that when I
100%.
uploaded this video, I was on 1.23 mil subs. I don't know how that coincidence happened, but it's just one of those satisfying things you love to see. And the standing desk, the maximum height it could go up to was 123. Oh my God, we're in a simulation. We're in the 123 world. That's pretty much, oh, Josh. Well, we all know where Josh is going. He already had his own category, and that is because I've not even been round to his house yet. Back in 2020, when we were still making Zerka Thursdays videos, we were gonna do a video for Josh upgrading his room, and you know what? It's not bad. He has improved his room over the times. It's just the fact that he hasn't had a refresh since then, which is why he's all the way at the bottom so far. So no standing desk. He's probably running quite an old PC. He was the first
Hey,
one
it's
of the
still
first
clean.
people to use a proper mirrorless camera as his webcam out of all the boys. So you know what? Josh was just way ahead of his time, but now time's caught up to him. But hey, listen, if it's functional for you, then that's all good. Listen, Mr. Zerka, when you have a new space to work with, give me a shout. Let's do something cool. Create your cool custom background. We'll give you a standing desk. Also, as a top tier streamer, you need to be rocking a dual PC setup. So yeah, you can stay over at the bottom there until you get yourself a standing desk, a dual PC setup, and a better beard. Sorry, that was uncalled for. Who am I to talk about beards when all I can do is grow a neck beard? I've got no right to shout
That was
about
like the
beards.
perfect
Sorry,
edit.
Josh, you don't deserve
He has
that.
original PC from the
And there
first
you have it,
house.
the Sidemen setups from best to worst.
Okay.
Again, another disclaimer, none of these setups are bad, but somebody obviously had to come in at last place. Also, some of these setups will be changing throughout 2023. So this tier list is subject to change.
Uh-oh. That means somebody's already doing a setup thing or something. I wonder if he's gonna go help Simon like fully do his setup and like finish all the cabling and stuff, and if he's gonna record that for his own channel. That'll be interesting to see, no cap. Okay.